Welcome to an allotment where the tools have lives of their own. At first glance, this might seem like a typical allotment. Vegetables growing, butterflies feeding, a blackbird gathering worms from the soil. The only hint that something is not quite normal is a dibber doing a cardio workout behind a fig tree. We all know people who are constantly trying to improve themselves. You know the type. You might even be one yourself. But what happens when we stop seeing all the good things about ourselves and don't see that we are perfectly fine as we are? Meet Imbu. Today, this little creature is about to learn that all the positive things about him can truly be measured, and by using a ruler that comes straight from the tool's life zone. Imbu is a very kind and helpful little creature who lives on the allotment. He is made from odds and ends that the allotment holder, old Jack Nooney, couldn't throw away because he thought they might be useful. In fact, Imbu's name is made from the first letters of the words, I might be useful. And Imbu certainly does like to be useful. Today he is watering young salad leaves and digging up onions so they'll dry in the sunshine and be easy to gather. But Imbu is also a very sociable creature, and once he's finished his jobs, he decides to find his friends and see whether they want to hang out with him. First he goes to look for his friend Notty, who is a little ball of string. He finds her in the gym with Flash Dibber. Notty is lifting weights to build up her muscles, and Flash is doing cardio work with some skipping. "Ooh, parallel bars," says Imbu. "These look fun. Shall we play a game to see who can balance for the longest time?" He giggles as he hangs from the bars by his broken stick and plant label arms. "Oh, Imbu, we are trying to do some serious exercise," says Notty. "We are doing HIIT." Imbu looks confused. "You know, high intensity tool training. You can't just come to the gym to giggle and hang around. Not if you want to be a professional athlete like I do. Have I ever told you that my great-aunt Lottie was a length of string at the finishing line of the marathon of the Mexico Olympics of 1968? Now, she was an athlete. I need to be in better shape if I want to be like her." Flash stops his skipping and turns to Imbu. "Are you even a member of the gym? You have to be a member to use a fig leaf gym, you know." "Oh," says Imbu. "No, I'm not a member. Perhaps I could join." "Well, Callie the caterpillar on reception will have all the details, but I warn you, it's not cheap. You have to pay her a lot of cabbage leaves each month." "To be honest," says Notty, puffing as she lifts her dumbbell weight, "it's not worth you joining. You would be all enthusiastic and come once or twice, and then you would never come again. You really aren't good at sticking to doing exercise. And this gym is for professionals who have Olympic dreams. You'll be wasting your cabbage leaves. We'll play with you another time." Imbu feels a bit deflated. "Oh, well, I suppose you're right. I guess I'm not good at sticking to exercise. Oh, I suppose I'd better find something else to do. Oh, sorry to disturb you both." So he heads off to find his friends, the sociable butterflies. They love going out and about and are always posting pictures on the allotment notice boards of themselves hanging out at the best eating places and the best parties. Cassie, the orange empress butterfly, and Scarlet, the small southern red butterfly, are busy having lunch at the Marigold restaurant. "Hello, you two. Can I hang out with you today?" "Oh, Imbu, we have no time. Forgive us," replies Cassie. Scarlet flutters the eyes on her wings. "We can't stop. We're just leaving to fly around the allotment with Bella and Lily the ladybirds." Oh, that sounds fun. Can I come with you?" asks Imbu. Cassie shakes her wings. "Sorry, my darling, but you can't fly, so you can't come with us. Another time, perhaps. Ciao, Imbu." And she takes to the air. Imbu tries to hide his disappointment. Oh, you're right, I can't fly. I'd better find something else to do. From a distance, he sees the two beautiful butterflies fly gracefully to the top of the blackberry bush to wait for the ladybirds to arrive. Imbu sighs. Oh, he feels like he's really missing out now. As Imbu walks along, he finds himself outside the lab belonging to Professor Cracked Pot Dibber, who is the allotment's brilliant but eccentric science dibber. He pauses and considers whether he should bother the busy professor, but thinks he might be able to help with his work. Morning, Professor.
G'day, Imbu. I don't often get visitors to my lab. What can I do for you, sport?
I was wondering if you needed any help.
Well, only if you know anything about robotics.
I'm afraid I don't, says Imbu in disappointment.
Oh, that's a pity. You see, I'm trying to create an army of robot dibbers. I thought I might send them off on a rampage so I can take over the whole allotment.
Imbu looks alarmed.
Struth your face. Only kidding, Imbu. I mean, I don't want to take over the whole allotment. Far too much work. No, I just want a modest-sized empire of minions to do my bidding.
Imbu backs out of the lab nervously. Oh, well, sorry to disturb you, Professor. Perhaps I'll see if I can help Reese the Fleece instead.
Well, you're always welcome to come back if you learn anything about robotics or cloning or genetic mutant dibbers.
Imbu rushes off to find Reese as fast as his wire legs will carry him. Reese the Fleece is the allotment's entrepreneur and business fleece, who owns many shops on the allotment. Today, he is running a stall at the weekly boot fair behind the cabbage patch. Can I help you on your stall, Reese? Asks Imbu.
I'm sorry, but I don't need any help, Imbu.
Are you sure you don't need help selling all these boots?
To be honest, Imbu, you aren't very good at selling things. The last time you helped me, you sold everything far too cheaply, and you even gave away an expensive fleece coat to the poor old hoe you found behind the shed.
Oh, but I felt so sorry for that old hoe, out in all weathers and getting so wet and cold. The fleece coat was the only thing I gave away.
I hate to contradict you, Imbu, but I distinctly remember you letting Brendan the broken rake have things for free too.
Oh, yes, but poor Brendan had no money because he couldn't work when his pole got broken. I was just helping him until I got the news that he'd been mended and could work again, says Imbu. I was just trying to be kind.
Well, that doesn't make good business sense. Businesses aren't about being kind, you know.
Oh, says Imbu, but shouldn't businesses have a good heart and try to do something nice for their local community?
Oh, a business with a good heart. If you're looking for something with a good heart, you'd be better off seeing the cabbage behind me. No, Imbu, selling things isn't for you.
Oh, I suppose you're right. I'm no good at selling things, says Imbu with a sigh. I'd better go and find something else to do. Imbu hunts around, but he can't find anyone else who either wants to hang out with him or needs his help. He goes to sit by himself in the shade of the spinach plant and rests on one of the onions. All the rejections and little negative comments have eaten away at his self-confidence, and he's feeling very down. You know the type of feeling. You might even have felt it yourself. None of his friends would ever intentionally try to hurt or exclude him, but they are so wrapped up in their own activities. I'm no good at exercise. I'm no good at selling things. I can't fly. I don't even know how to make an army of robot dibbers, sobs Imbu, and big tears start to roll down his cheeks. My name might be short for I might be useful, but it should be changed to I am not useful. And his self-confidence drips away. Suddenly, over the sound of his sobbing, he hears shouting, Help! Help! Please help us! Imber realizes that the shouting is coming from Cassie and Scarlet, the butterflies. Wiping his eyes, he says to himself, "I'd better see what's wrong." He leaps to his little wire feet and runs as fast as he can towards the sound of the shouting. "I'm on my way," he calls back. The shouting is coming from the cauliflower bed. To Imbu's horror, he sees the two beautiful butterflies are trapped under a cloche which old Jack Nooney has put over the cauliflower plants to protect the leaves from being eaten by birds and insects. "Oh, Imbu, we are sure pleased to see y'all. You're such a sight for the sore eyes on our wings," shouts Scarlet, the southern red butterfly. "We thought that no one would hear our cries for help." "I have very good hearing," says Imbu, "so I heard you from the other side of the allotment." "We are trapped," says Cassie, the Orange Empress. "We came in here to see whether the leaves would be a good home for us to lay our beautiful bambino eggs." "We sure did," says Scarlet. "These leaves look like they'd be mighty tasty for our cute little baby caterpillars to eat when they hatch from the eggs." Cassie tries to move her wings. "We have tried and tried, but we can't get out. Can you help us?" "Of course," replies Imbu. "I will try to find either Brendan the mended rake or a stick to see if they can help us lift up the cloche." But Brendan isn't around, as he'd been lent to a local football team to help rake leaves off the pitch. So Imbu hurries off to see the pole family of sticks. Young Lana Longpole is very keen to volunteer. "I'll go," she says enthusiastically. "I want to rescue butterflies." It was awkward to carry her, but he lifts Lana Longpole onto his shoulder and drags her along behind him. It's lucky that for a piece of netting and other odds and ends, he's a very strong little creature. When Imbu arrives back, he wedges the stick under the cloche. I'm going to try and lift it as high as I can. I don't know how long I'll be able to hold it up, so you must try to fly under the gap as quickly as possible." Imbu takes hold of Lana Longpole's waist and lifts the stick with all his strength. Soon there is a gap. "Quickly!" he pants. "Try to escape now." The two butterflies manage to fly out through the gap that Imbu has made. "Phew!" says Imbu, and he and Lana Longpole fall to the ground exhausted. The butterflies are hot and tired too, and they flop onto the ground next to him. "Oh, Imbu, a million, billion, trillion thanks for rescuing us," says Cassie. "You're both such heroes," says Scarlet, fluttering the eyes on her wings. "Y'all can hang out with us whenever y'all want. Y'all hear me?" "Thank you," says tired little Imbu. "Perhaps we could play later, as I think I need to rest this afternoon." Imbu spends the afternoon napping and resting in the shade of the basil herb plants. When he wakes up, he sees a long shadow on the ground in front of him. It is slowly moving. Something is coming towards him. Imbu looks at it nervously. What is on its way? To his amazement, he sees that the shadow belongs to the wise old ruler. The wise old ruler is the leader of all the creatures on the allotment. He lives in a little hut on the edge of the allotment site and very rarely comes to Mr. Nooney's plot. The wise old ruler is very wise indeed, and everyone respects him.
"Don't look so worried, little Imbu,"
says the wise old ruler.
"I just want to have a chat with you. Sit yourself down."
Imbu sits on a couple of stones.
"I see and hear a lot of things around this allotment,"
The wise old ruler explains.
"I know all about you rescuing the butterflies. You should be proud of yourself."
Imbu can't help but smile at being praised.
"I also know how sad you were earlier when you thought you weren't useful or good at anything,"
The wise old ruler says sympathetically.
"Imbu, you spend too much time thinking about the things you are not good at, when you should be thinking of all the things you are good at. Now you know that I am a ruler, so I have been measuring all the things you're good at and all the kind things you do, and there are lots of them.
Imbu looks surprised. There are? What things am I good at?
Oh, Imbu, where shall I start? Let's see. You are thoughtful, brave and helpful. You care about your friends. You help everyone to get along and encourage them to be kind to each other. You are very good at gardening, and you work hard to help old Jack Nooney on the allotment, even though he doesn't even know you exist. You are keen to learn new things. You are strong and can climb well and can run very fast. And these are just a few of the things you are good at.
Imbu thinks about what the wise old ruler has said. That's a very long list of things. You know, I never think about what I'm good at. The wise old ruler waves his stick to show that Imbu needs to stand up.
Why don't you walk with me as far as the shed, as I need to visit Mr. and Mrs. Pole to tell them how helpful young Lana Longpole was today.
Imbu is delighted to walk alongside the ruler. But, but what if I forget about what I'm good at and feel sad again? Says Imbu a little shyly.
Well, why don't you imagine you have your own inner ruler for measuring all the good things about yourself? That may help you feel more positive, replies the wise old ruler. And any time you're still feeling sad, you should always talk to your friends or other creatures on the allotment. Why, here is one of your friends now.
They have reached the shed and Notty rushes over to them. Oh, Imbu, you are my hero. I have heard all about you running across the allotment and bravely rescuing those butterflies from under that heavy cloche. You must be so strong. And to think that earlier I said you were no good at exercise. What a silly thing for me to say. Please forgive me. Imbu takes her hand. No need to apologise, Notty. Oh, but I always say the wrong thing, and I'm not very good at thinking about other creatures' feelings. I'm such a thoughtless ball of string, and I'm not always very good at being a friend. Imbu pats her string hand. You really are a great friend. He smiles at the wise old ruler and then turns back to Notty. You know, Notty, you need to think about all the things that you are good at. Let me tell you what I've learned today about having an inner ruler to measure the positive things about ourselves. And the two walk off happily, arm in arm. So the next time you find yourself sobbing among the onions, thinking you're no good at anything and can't even build an army of robot dibbers, remember the advice of the wise old ruler to imagine having your own inner ruler to measure all the things that you are good at. Not sure if a ruler like this exists? Well, try looking for one in the Tools Life Zone. The end.